So, I'm Dr. Jennifer Baker, and I'm here today to talk about family resilience. We've been doing a series in the Good Dads e newsletter and in our blog about the importance of family resilience, especially in a time like this, like the pandemic. How do you keep your family strong when you think you might be losing it yourself some days? I saw a meme recently that said 2020 is an unusual year. February had 29 days, March had 300, and April has 5 years. I think it feels like that some days. One day seems like the next. The things we were able to do, we no longer can do. And every day is a new kind of weird. So, with that in mind, I think some people are likely to try to distract themselves from what's going on by playing video games till 2:30 in the morning, or shopping online, or maybe visiting the refrigerator or the cupboard too often. And of course, children don't really care about this sort of thing either. They want to get out of the house, they want to play with their friends. It's really easy to just kind of lose it under this new reality. But I would like to challenge parents today, dads, to think and moms to think about this in a new way. I would like you to think about the fact that you're never again going to get an April 2020, a May 2020, a June 2020. You're never going to get those days back. These days are special days that you have with each other, and your children will remember them, and they're especially likely to remember them in a fond way if you think about how to make the best use of the time. So I'm going to give you three things that you can do, three things that could be helpful to you. Number one, I know there are some local artists who are photographers who are remembering this time in a photograph. So if you go to our blog post, you'll see an idea of something a local photographer is doing. Perhaps you will want to contact her, try this yourself, or find somebody else who's taking photos of people in their homes, their pandemic photos. So they're very lovely, and they kind of capture the moment, and they're the kind of thing that 10, 20 years from now, I think you will really treasure when you look back on this time that was difficult, but you spent together. The second thing I'd like you to think about is this summer is probably not going to be like other summers. There are probably not going to be any large gatherings. Could vary from state to state how things are going in your state, but there's probably not going to be any large concerts, large theater events, children's activities like summer camp. A lot of those things are being canceled, even in our state, Missouri, which has a fairly open policy. So if that's the case, what are you going to do? Many families already have canceled their summer plans to go to Disney, to go on a trip to Europe, to go to the big city, to go to the beach. They simply don't feel comfortable in traveling, or maybe those options are off the table because they're not going to happen, or maybe finances have been impacted by everything that's going on, and so that's not going to be an option for them. So what will you do? I want you to plan now about what you're going to do. I want you to talk to your partner, if you have a partner, and say, well, what shall we do? And here's the thing you need to remember. What most children crave is not a trip to the amusement park nearly as much as they want time with their parents. They want one-on-one time. And that could be playing a board game together. That could be laying out on a quilt, looking up the stars at night, talking to each other. That might be a camp out in the backyard. That might be going fishing together. It's funny, some of our dads that write for our Real Good Dads blog have talked about family vacations, and one dad said, if I knew, he asked his kids, what did you most remember about your favorite family vacation? And none of them mentioned Disney World, even though he said he'd spent thousands of dollars and time getting his kids to Disney World, the whole Disney World experience. Now, I'm not anti-Disney. I am just saying it's possible to be a great parent and not go to Disney. And even if you go to Disney, that may not be the vacation your children remember. They remember picnics in the park. They remembered going fishing. They remembered simple things close to home. So I want you to think about that. What simple things close to home can we do? Bike rides, picnics, fun in the backyard, playing catch. I want you to think about those things, since it's likely that you're going to need to have some new plans and you may not be able to rely on other people to help you with that. You could get together with some other dads to do some fun things, or other moms. We'll talk more about that in an upcoming series. And finally, I want you to think about if maybe this would be a good summer for you to learn something new. New could be like, oh, we're going to learn how to bake a pie this summer. We're going to go out and pick the fruit, and we're going to learn how to make strawberry pie or blueberry pie, or I never learned how to make that pie crust, but we're going to learn how to do it. We're going to learn wood carving because my uncle knows how to do that and he's going to show us. We're going to learn bike maintenance. We're going to learn insect identification. We're going to learn to distinguish bird calls. We're going to learn how to paint. We're going to learn a new language. So not you teaching your child, but you learning with your child. And in this case, what I suggest is that you think about 6 to 10 activities that you could tolerate or that you might be interested in. And then give your child or your children a choice of their top 2. And that will kind of narrow the field of what you're really going to focus on this summer. So you're going to learn with them. This is not requiring you to prepare a lot of things ahead of time. You don't need one more thing to do, but it might be, let's say they say insect identification. That might require you to order an insect identification book or see what the conservation district has going on, and then going out and look at insects. That's it. So we want this to be real simple, something that you could use the internet to assist you with, or an older adult who has those skills who might work with you, your local resources. I can pretty much guarantee you, as a marriage and family therapist and a psychologist for more than 30 years, that children mostly want their parents' focused attention. And if you can do that by sharing simple, fun activities together, perhaps learning something new, I can almost guarantee you that this will be a summer that will go down as one of the best summers ever. You just need to plan ahead. So thanks so much for listening in. This is Dr. Jennifer Baker with Good Dads, where we help kids one dad at a time, and moms too.